My name is Nolan Michaels. I've made way too many Midjourney images, and here are 25 tips you may not know about. Let's start with a prompting tip for generating more natural looking images. Let's say you wanted a picture of a woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. You're probably going to end up with your subject staring right at the camera. Well, there's one simple thing we can do to make our pictures appear more natural and less forced. We can add this phrase to the prompt, looking off into the distance, and we get these. You could also add a word like paparazzi for that candid feel, but if you're going down this route, I suggest adding -- no camera as well. Let me jump to one of my favorite new workflows. You're going to start by putting a mood board code in your prompt. Let's go with this burnt anime mood board I just created. Pretty cool looking, right? And then what we're going to do is add a random style to the generation. Type --sref random at the end of your prompt. So instead of these, we could end up with these. The differences won't be large, but I think that's the best part about it. You can anchor the style with your mood board, and then you can explore these branching paths. And if you want to explore faster, use -- repeat in your prompt. And you might find some generations like these. Look how awesome these are. And I wanted to let you know that I've updated my Midjourney course with 13 lessons on version 7. You can now find the course exclusively in my school community. If you've already purchased the course, make sure you check your email. If you're new to Midjourney and prefer learning in a structured environment, come check it out. The link is in the description below. And did you know you can now rotate images? Go into the editor and hover over one of the corners. On the outside of the image, you'll see an option to now click and rotate the picture. If you go into the advanced editor, make sure you click on Move at the top. And here's a tip for when you're trying to erase parts of your picture. You can right click and then drag across the screen to increase or decrease the size of the selection circle. That'll save you some time. Let's say you have a picture, but there's one thing you want to change. So you go into the editor, but you notice the thing you want to change is directly in the middle of the frame. And when you go to erase that part, it doesn't work. You're activating the move feature. I've seen people complain about this. This is when you'll want to start erasing somewhere else and then drag the eraser into the middle. From here, we can click on restore and then restore everything except the middle. It's not ideal, obviously, but this is how you solve that problem. Welcome to my new series, People Forget. A show where we go over something cool that people often forget. Like, did you know you can generate any color by using the color as a reference? If you asked for a purple dress, Midjourney might create a grid that looks something like this. But what if we wanted a specific color of purple? We can click at Add Images at the top, take our color purple, drag it into the Omni reference. And take a look at those results. Isn't that unreal? Yeah. People forget that. Thank you for tuning into this week's People Forget. Now, if you haven't given the Midjourney personalization system a shot, I highly suggest you do. I think it's awesome. But don't forget that you can build a Niji profile by clicking on this menu right here. You're still picking between two images, except this time they're mostly going to be some form of digital art. Take a look at what my code does to these prompts. There's Wonder Woman in the regular Niji algorithm. And then here it is with my Niji code, my personal profile, my personal preferences. I'm not saying you're going to like those results, but I certainly do, and that's why you should try creating your own profiles. And hey, I have a small gift for you. You can download my mood board profile pack number 1 for free. There are 19 codes in there for you, and the link will be down in the description. I hope you enjoy. And now I have a fun workflow for you to try. We're going to take a picture and remix it into different aspect ratios. Let's try this Batman photo right here. It's a square frame. Once you click on the picture, if you don't see remix down here on the right side, make sure you click on more options, which is beside creation actions. You'll find remix in here. Don't use remix subtle, it's not going to work very well. We want remix strong. From here, we can go up to the top and we can type --AR to trigger the aspect ratio and then any two values. Let's change this to 3:1. And then we'll try a couple more. We'll go 2:3 and 16:9. Now, you're not going to see this picture stretched into the different ratios. There's really no way to know what's going to happen, and I think that's part of the fun. It still maintained the assets of the original, sort of the white background, the pink writing, as well as Batman, but the way it's presented within the frame is a little different. Here it is in 2:3, and I like this one a lot. And then 16:9, some of these not the greatest, but I like this one here. Another random prompting tip is that --style raw can now just be written as --raw. Kinda easier, I guess, you know? And here's a solution to a unique problem that you might run into. If you've been using version 7 but you want to prompt for an older model, you might notice that it keeps generating with your profile code on. Like if I wanted to see a snail on a skateboard in version 6.1, when I hit enter, it's gonna run with some profile codes. I mean, okay, I like these pictures, but that's not what I wanted. You can type --p none at the end of your prompt, but the way to change this for good is to actually select the model in your settings. You'll notice that the personalization system for that version was on the whole time. Click the P at the top to turn it off. Kinda random, kinda frustrating, that's how you fix it. That's it. That's how we fix it. An aspect ratio of 7:3 is just gorgeous. Look, I don't really have much more to say. I feel like this ratio is a little more rare and used less often. I tried it recently and can't get enough of the results. Something about it, the composition, maybe it's just because I don't use it often, but I really like it. Like this picture here is just gorgeous. Like look at these, man. So unreal. And hey, I need to ask you for a favor. Please click like on this video if you've learned something new and you want to help me out. Thanks. Now I have another little fun workflow for you to try involving the editor. Let's say we generated a super simple sports car right here. We go into the editor and then we make some random lines like that. If we hit submit, nothing's gonna happen. Like those are the results. You're not gonna see any difference. But if we go back to the editor and we come up here to the top and click P for personalize, and then we submit the edit, we're gonna be generating in that erase space with our personal style. And you will see a difference. Like take a look at these. Isn't that funny? All you had to do was turn personalize on in the edit. And now I'd like to teach you how to zoom in on a Midjourney image. The zoom button that you have access to actually zooms out on your picture. So how can we zoom in? Midjourney isn't made to work like that, but we can do this little trick. Go into the editor and then the first thing we need to do is change the ratio. Let's click on 2:3 up here. And you'll notice that the scale slider was adjusted. We're gonna take this slider and we're gonna raise it back to 100. You'll see that we sort of zoomed in on the middle. Even though it's not a square, we're gonna hit submit edit. It'll give you something like this in the 2:3 ratio. Go back into edit and turn it back into a square. You'll have a chance to increase the scale again, and then when you hit submit edit this time, you'll end up with something like these. Here's the original, and then we have that. If you want to zoom in, that's how you do it. Now, how about your Midjourney profile? Did you know you can see a user's entire generations if you click on their name? But I don't think you can search for a user, so this is only available to you if you see their picture on the explore page. I like this one a lot. T Glenn 90, welcome to the show. Now here's a cool prompt idea for you. I got this from a user named Magnus L3D. It's something like a blank shape made of X. The prompt here is a human face made out of millions of smaller and smaller humans similar to a fractal pattern. The smaller shapes are all human shaped in different poses and sizes to accommodate the overall structure. Again, it's blank shape made of blank. You can switch things up, like I tried a rabbit face made out of millions of smaller and smaller flowers. Like, look at those results. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's just unreal. Shout out to Magnus, gotta try this one. Another thing you might want to know is that the weird parameter does not work when you have a mood board code in your prompt, but it does work with your ranked profiles. I think this could be fun to play with, but keep the value low, like literally between 5 and 30. Any more and you're just gonna get some weird pictures, okay? Here's a random prompting trick for you. If you want to see a subject in armor, you could definitely just ask for a cat wearing armor, or a dog wearing armor, or a hippo wearing armor. But I think you'll like the results more if you change the prompt to say an armored cat, an armored dog, an armored hippo. And if you ever find yourself scrolling on the create page trying to find a picture you made in the past, don't drag the scroll bar. Like, it's gonna take you all over the place. Instead, just click and hold below it. This will quickly drag you through your timeline, and then you can just click create on the side to go back to the top. Now, if you're anything like me and you've created a lot of mood boards, maybe even hundreds, it can be kind of hard to find something specific. That's when you'll want to press Ctrl F or Command F on your keyboard to bring up the search function for the page. And then there's a unique workflow that you could be using with your mood boards, and that's attaching an image prompt to the mood board. So we'll choose our burnt anime. Then we can select an image at the top. Let's go with this picture of The Last of Us, and then we can use it as an image prompt. I think you'll get some really interesting pictures using this workflow. I think an extra advanced tip, since you'll need to write something in your prompt, is to take the picture and run it through Describe first. And then you can take that written prompt, plus the image prompt and the mood board, and come up with designs like this. That's pretty cool, right? Like here's Starry Night as an image prompt with the burnt anime. I think those are great. Image prompts plus mood boards, you should try it out. And then I'm sorry for this next tip, this is just ridiculous. I found this prompt on the Explore page and I thought it was so funny looking. I'm not endorsing the subject matter, but maybe you want to try this yourself. Elderly People Cage Fighting Championship. But I guess the heart of the style is 1992 VHS rip.avi. I have a random information tip. If you want to see how many images you've made in one particular version, here's how you can do it. Go to the Organize tab, filter by the version, and then click and scroll all the way down. We are going to use the download counter to count the number of images that we've made. But you have to do it like this. Clicking on all the days individually would just take forever. Hey, aerodynamic is a cool word you might want to try. You'll get these curved, rounded designs. Aerodynamic armor is pretty sick. Of course, the aerodynamic car we had to try out. You could try the aerodynamic tree, and it will still turn it into this circular type of design. And then even kitchens will go down that route. Pretty cool word, try it out yourself. If you're using the tile parameter to create a seamless pattern, instead of taking your image into a seamless pattern checker, you can actually just click on it to see what it looks like when it surrounds itself. Like here we have the prompt, a beautiful garden. We can click on this once. That still doesn't tell us what it looks like as a pattern. So again, instead of taking this to another website, we can just click on it and we'll see it surrounding itself. That's pretty cool. Click on this X in the top right to go back. And then I want to show you a word like thalassophobia. This word acts like a power prompt in Midjourney. It will trigger your entire generation to follow the idea of like an overwhelming ocean, often highlighting a contrasting size difference or imminent danger. Here's what some of the people in my community were able to create with this, just stunning stuff. Subscribe if you want to learn more. I hope you're doing well, take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.